There are many people who were involved in tackling down the slave trade, and some include Thomas Clarkson, William Wilberforce, and others would include the Americans, the British, and the government. And there were many others involved in tackling down this, but these were kind of the mainish people, you could say. During the 1700s and 1800s, people began to get less tolerant with the slave trade. English reformers and certain politicians organized in 1787 to abolish the participation in slave trade. In February 1806, an amendment was added to the tax bill calling for the prohibition of the slave trade on January 1st, 1808. In 1808, the importation of slaves into the U.S. or its territories were banned. Thomas Clarkson worked against slave trade for over 50 years, traveling to Britain to create meetings and give anti-slavery written works. British MP William Wilberforce campaigned noisily against slave trade for over 35 years, and he is often credited for the creation of the Parliament Act banning slavery in 1807. The Constitutional Compromise of 1787 ended the slave trade by 1808. However, the Constitution and Fugitive Slave Laws of 1793 conferred the rights of slaveholders to their property. The American anti-slavery movement was modeled on the English anti-slavery movement from the adoption of the Constitution in 1787 until the 1820s. The British reformers ended the slave trade by 1807 and ended slavery by 1833. The Americans followed in the British example of ending slavery. However, it was the activities of the American free blacks and the resistance to slavery by American slaves that created the movement. But it can often beg the question, why? Well, people always thought slavery was bad ever since it started. People would start petitions and tell the government to get rid of it. And the biggest thing is that they were persistent. They never gave up in what they believed in, and they got the change that they wanted.